Welcome back to RamblinWreck.com. Preston Lyons is a senior B-back at Georgia Tech, but there's a little bit more to this story. You played football at Marist, and then you went to Colgate. Tell me how one goes from Marist to Colgate and ends up back at Georgia Tech, because there is a little bit of a story in all this, right?
Yeah, I was offered a spot at Georgia Tech right out of high school, but I just wanted to try something new, see a different part of the country. I loved Georgia Tech initially, but I just wanted to try something new, so I went up to Colgate. Then Coach Johnson came down here, and he recruited me out of Navy. They ran the same offense that I ran in high school, so I just figured, I might as well get one opportunity in your lifetime to play big-time football, so I came back down here, and here I am.
Now, you grew up a Tech fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the first time you came to see a game?
I just remember Joe Hamilton was playing. I was young, so I must have been like 5th grade probably. I remember seeing him play, and it was a really electric atmosphere.
Take me through the Colgate experience, because by definition, you redshirted, right, at Colgate, and yet you had been recruited a little bit by Georgia Tech, and Navy was recruiting you, and as you said a moment ago, you wanted to try something different. Do you think about starting at Colgate and playing in an ACC championship game in an Orange Bowl and all that? I mean, it's a pretty big jump sometimes.
Yeah, it's a huge jump. But it was a lot of family time. I had to talk about it with them. It was a huge transition, both going up to Colgate then coming back down to Georgia Tech. But I'm definitely happy I made the right decision.
Take me through the year you don't play. What do you learn then?
Humility, definitely. Modesty, because you come out of high school, you're the best player around. Everyone's telling you how great you are. Then you go up there. Everyone that you play with is a phenomenal high school player. So you go up and you have to sit out a year, and you just have to take your time. And I had to come back down and sit out another year because of transfer rules. So I had 2 years of just a lot of internal thinking. And once I was able to play that next year, it was a lot of fun.
Does it change your perspective of the game, Preston?
Just in terms of no one likes football practice. Some parts of football practice you like, but for the most part you don't like it. So it was hard going 2 years without playing a game. So that first game I was able to play, it was that much sweeter.
Nobody likes football practice?
None of the players do. I'm sure the coaches like getting out there and yelling at us, but you like some parts of it. There's some emotion. You get to release stress from schoolwork, and you get to hit people, but you have so many practices it gets monotonous, but the games make it all worth it.
Why is this year different?
Definitely the attitude, I'd have to say. Last year, guys, got down in the dumps kind of. We lost a game, and then people, didn't want to fight back because, you lose a game, you lose a few games, and it gets hard to rally again the next week and get that emotion up. But this year, people are buying into the system, buying into each other, and that's definitely why we have a successful year so far.
In the Clemson ball game, it was almost like you guys needed the one play to kind of energize things. And then when the first 2 offensive possessions didn't go very well, then the fumble occurred, and all of a sudden the lights went on, both sides, everybody just kind of clicked. Did it feel that way too?
Yeah, I agree. I think defense, from offensive perspective, our defense kept us in it. Only allowing 3 points on those first 2 series definitely helped us because, we saw we could play with these guys, and, we're better than them. We just need to settle down, get rid of penalties and play our game, and we knew that we could do that.
As wins go, how big was it?
That was one of the sweetest wins. ACC championship in '09 is definitely up there, but just in terms of playing home, playing in Bobby Dodd Stadium in front of that electric crowd, that's got to be, I'll remember that forever.
Georgia Tech has not had a lot of wins over top 5 teams historically. Virginia Tech in '09, Clemson last Saturday are 2 of a very few number of games that have been wins over top 5 teams in the history of the school on Grant Field. You, Rashad Reed, Jason Peters, Steven Sylvester, you guys have been a part of 2 of those. Do you think about stuff like that, or is that something for years down the road?
You think about it just in terms of it shows like all the hard work we've put through, and you think about it because of the atmosphere of the game. You're gonna remember. I remember Virginia Tech playing under the lights and Clemson playing under the lights. I prefer playing under the lights anyway, so that just it's gonna be etched in my mind forever. But those were 2 awesome games.
Tell me about Coach Johnson from the B-back perspective. because I know the symphony between the quarterbacks and the B-backs. Coach Bohannon coaches both positions essentially. They work together. But it is the pivotal point in the offense, and you know that as well as anybody. And the competition you have with David and Charles and all these guys and Richard at B-back is certainly something that's been a spark to this team. But take me through Coach Johnson's relationship with your position and what that relationship's about as you get ready for a game.
Well, B-back, it's more physical than mental, honestly, because our assignments are, for the most part, simple. We all know what we're doing. We've been doing it for a long time. David hasn't as long as us, but he played quarterback, so he knows what he's doing. So it just comes down to physically, can you take the pounding? Can you take the hits? Every play you have to give it your all, because no matter what, whether you have the ball or not, you're going to get hit. So I think Coach Johnson, he knows that. So he knows that he makes sure we know what we have to do mentally so we can prepare ourselves physically for it.
Are you guys, because there's not a Dwyer and Anthony Allen, is it more of a unified front at that position this year?
Yeah, I think so. As a unit, we want to get over 100 yards every game. Doesn't matter, who's doing it. David's been carrying the load for the most part recently. He's been doing well during that. And so as long as we get it as a unit, that's all we care about. And we look out for each other. It's not like we're trying to, get one another. If I'm on the sideline, I see something David can do, then I'll point out to him. He does the same thing for me, because it helps having, two sets of eyes looking at it.
Are you guys different in your approach to carrying the football? Are you the same guy?
Well, I guess we're a little different, just some of our moves, but there's not room for too much versatility in the B-back until you get into the open field. So we're pretty similar, I'd say.
All right, down to 3 games. Obviously, Thursday night's a Coastal Division game, pretty critical. But the last 3 games, the finality of those 3 for a senior, do you think about that?
I try not to. I try to do the cliche of taking 1 week at a time, but it's definitely crossed my mind. I've got, when I have 4 guaranteed, hopefully 5 more games.
Sure.
But definitely thinking about those last 2 I get to play at home, and then 1 more road trip. But I'm trying to take it 1 week at a time.
You said Thursday's big. How big is it?
It's the biggest game of the year, obviously, because we win that one, we put ourselves in a position to win the Coastal. It's going to be another great atmosphere. I hope it's just like last Saturday.
Has it been pretty cool playing football in your hometown?
Yeah, it's real nice. I get fans, or my friends are, becoming fans instantly. They're always texting me and, trying to come to games. And I got a lot of support around here, which makes things great.
Thanks for the visit.
Thank you.
That's Preston Lyons, and this is RamblingWreck.com.